Hey, welcome. My name is Ed. We're going to go over my 2023 Chevy Bolt. We're going to do a full walk around. So I'm going to show you things that I don't really like about this car. We'll do a full walk around of the car. And overall, I love this car, but there's just some things that I don't really like about it. And I think you should know about it before you buy one. I did get this car from CarMax. It was used. It was a rental. And some of the damages to this is because of that, I believe. As far as CarMax goes, I don't think they did a great job reconditioning this car. Overall, the car looked great, but there's some damages to the car and some things that they did to the car, I'm assuming they did to the car, that I'm not a big fan of. So let's do a full walk around the car and then, yeah, cool. Okay, so the car is super dirty right now because I've been driving it for the last week. I got bugs all over the front of the car and on the windshield. Yeah. As you can see, overall, the condition of the car looks pretty decent. There's no major dents or flaws or anything with that. It's just dirty right now. You can see before they delivered the car, it's like they tried to wax it and they didn't get all the white stuff off. That's fine, whatever. Another thing is these tires. The front says Westlake on it. Let's check this side. Yes, that also says Westlake on it. Never heard of it. So some kind of cheap tire. I doubt it's an EV tire. But it's like CarMax has put the cheapest tires on possible. But they're new tires, so I'm okay with that. Even if the range isn't as great. The back has Simotomo tires. So I'm assuming, I think this was a Hertz car. I'm assuming Hertz probably put a set on and then CarMax put a set on. That's why they're not matching. But the back on this side is also Simoto. So the front and the back tires do not match, but they do match from side to side. And I'm assuming they're not EV tires. The back here, this has been hit at some point. There's no accidents in the Carfax, but you can see this side is nice and, fairly flush, like it should be. This side is like popped out. It should be like that. This side is like popped out. It should be like in like that. Also, I noticed, I don't know if that's a wax mark or what, but this reverse light seems to be, there's a big gap between this plastic and the reverse light. I feel like it's probably supposed to be more flush. I'm not sure, but I feel like that is not right. Now, the only issue with the inside of this car that I found is this little plastic piece that holds the top cover is missing on this side. So I can't use the top cover that came with the car, which is underneath there. So that's kind of disappointing. So that's the overview of the condition of the car from CarMax. All that, I guess, passed their inspection. That's supposed to be a great inspection. I don't know. But let's go over some things about the car itself that I don't like. I do not know why this bothers me, but the fact that this is like a light gray color and the rest of the interior is like black. I really wish this was like black. I don't know why. That just doesn't look as nice to me. I mean, it's not that noticeable, but once you notice it, it's kind of hard to unsee it. And I get it. This top here is going to match the top half of the car there and there, which actually brings me up to the EUV. The EUV, the side pillars are black all the way up to the roof, and the roof is still gray. So actually, I think this looks a little nicer than the EUV style. You got this, which is kind of a pain in a way, because you pull it out too far, it like drops, and then you got to try to set it back in. It's not great. This car really needs like a net too if you're going to be hauling like 2-liter sodas or milk and stuff like that, because stuff just goes flying around inside there. So one of the frustrating things is the fact that there is no charger plug back here for him to plug his phone in. Now on our truck, there is no plug either, but on the truck, there's a plug in here. But on this car, there is no plug. So that's kind of a pain. So the only way to plug in your device if you're in the back is get a really long cord and run it all the way up here. So eventually I think I'm going to have to find a solution for that. Another thing is there is no cup holders back here. Who in the right mind thought it would be a good idea to have a car with no cup holders at all in the back? Now you can put like a bottle here, like how I have right there. But it has to be like a closed up bottle because it doesn't sit upright. It sits at an angle. There's no, there's no drop down center armrest with a cup holder thing there. So that's just kind of a pain. Like, where's he supposed to put his drink? There's only 2 cup holders in the front, if you're not including the doors. So if we go and get 3 cups, that's not a bottle, where are we going to put all 3 of them? We don't have a spot for 3 cups. It's really frustrating. I am going to find a solution and maybe make a video on it, but that is something you should know if you have a family and you plan to buy this car. Also, side note, I know the LT2s and the Premiers, they do have cup holders in the back, they do have chargers in the back. So if you're looking at buying one, if you don't want a workaround solution, then maybe it might be worth spending the extra money to get the higher end car. Okay, let's talk about the screen. Look at all the fingerprints on top of this screen. Now it's a screen, it's gonna have fingerprints, but whatever. I'm gonna have to keep like a microfiber cloth in this car just to keep the screen and the black clean. One of the things I'm not a fan of with Apple CarPlay is the limited amount of apps that actually work with it. There's a lot of map apps with it and some subscription-based audio apps that work with it, but you can't play videos on it. You can't be using FaceTime on your phone while you're hooked up to Apple CarPlay. So I'm just not a huge fan of it. For me, I mean, besides the map function, there's no real benefit for me. I mean, I guess text messages, you can read off text messages on here, where it tells you the text message in voice. Overall, I do like the way this interior looks. It looks nicer than how it really is. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, this is fake stitching and stuff like that. The car feels nice, but doesn't feel high-end in person. Now, a couple of my favorite features of this car, blind spot monitoring. I love blind spot monitoring. Another feature that I really love is automatic high beams. Like, I didn't think I would appreciate that as much as I do, but being I drive like 38 miles each way to and from work, and half the time it's at night, having automatic high beams is incredibly nice. Like, I don't have to worry about flipping on my high beams, flipping them off. It just does it all automatically. And it does it really good. As soon as the car passes, within a second, my high beams are back on. As soon as it sees a car in the distance, it turns off. The headlights are actually a lot better than what I expected, because some of the reviews said the headlights sucked. On the 2023, I thought they were really good. They're just as good as my truck. What I was also surprised on with the automatic high beams is I thought the reflection of a speed limit sign would trigger it to turn off, but it doesn't. It somehow knows the difference between the reflection of the headlights versus an actual car. So I do like this climate control system. I think it's it works really good. Like, for not having physical knobs and stuff, I think it works really good. Don't have heated seats, don't have heated steering wheel. That's fine with me. But if you did, those options would be here. Sport mode, I don't notice a huge difference between it, but haven't used it all that much. I've always keep the lane centering on, and it'll slowly veer you back into the lane if you get too close to the edge. Like, it won't force the steering wheel, so if you're trying to go past it, like, you won't even really feel it trying to fight you or anything like that. But this does not do lane centering. All it does is prevent you from going across the line, and even that, it's not great, to be honest. Comma AI, I think, will solve that when I finally get that for this car. It is kind of neat. It does tell you how many seconds you are away from the car in front of you. So I kind of use that as a gauge, because when you set your speedometer, it sets the actual speed. And then if I notice I'm creeping up closer on the seconds, I'll just slow my speed to match up where that number isn't changing. Then I'm following the car in front of me at the exact same speed. Although adaptive cruise control would be much nicer. But again, the comma AI can resolve that. I do use this once in a while. One pedal driving. So that's this right here. I love one pedal driving. I got used to it almost instantly. But sometimes if you need to slow down even harder than the one pedal driving, you can use this, and it regens even more, and it slows you down even faster. The thing is, you don't need to, like, if you just need to slow down a little bit, you don't have to go all the way out. You can just let it out slightly, and it'll slowly slow you down. One of the most frustrating things that I've had, and I haven't been able to get used to it yet, is the cruise control. When you set your cruise control, everything's great. But most cars, to disable the cruise control, I mean, you can hit the stop, but usually you just kind of tap the brake, right? Which, that will disable cruise control, but when you're in one pedal driving, your car does not coast when you tap on the brake. It actually brakes. It'll slow you down. So you either need to tap on the brake and immediately hit the gas so you're not going forward like that, or you need to put your foot a little bit on the gas and then turn it off this way. That is one thing in one pedal driving that I do find highly, highly annoying. If that really bothers you, you can turn off one pedal driving. I just like to regen as much power as I can to, save my mileage. What I've come to really enjoy is the fact that I put the keys in my pocket and I never have to touch it. I don't have to put the key in anywhere to start the car. I know people have had push button starts for a while. This is nothing new, but this is the first car I've had that had it. So, and even when you walk up to the car, you just press the button on the door handle to unlock it if you want. You don't need to take the remote out of your pocket for any reason. Unless the remote battery dies, then you might have to break into your own car. But let's actually talk more about the app, because I don't really use this all that much. I'm probably going to cancel my subscription. You have controls on here. You can lock your car, unlock your car. You can make it beep. You can flash your lights. You can stop your lights from flashing. And you can turn on your climate control. So basically a remote start. Let's turn on your climate control. And it tells you your battery percentage there, because it doesn't tell you on top of the screen. Although it does give you this graph right here that tells you where you're at, which is fine for me. Another thing that, this video is kind of going all over the place, I know, I'm sorry. I did not script this video out. I'm just, yeah. All my cars, the cruise control has been on the right side. That's how I adjust the cruise control. This car, the cruise control is on the left. So it's kind of getting me a little bit to get used to. I'm starting to get used to it now after about a week, but that is just something I've noticed. You got buttons behind the steering wheel. There and there. And I think that changes the track that you're playing. I'm not 100% sure. I think that's what it was doing. I don't know if it has another function. And then this does your volume. I use this one all the time to change the volume of the audio. Also, one thing on this, you know, you have your set and resume here. These are not actually buttons. It's just telling you what direction this little wheel thing goes in. Same thing with this side. These are not buttons. It's just telling you when you scroll there, it's changing something up there. Oh, there's my tire pressure. But then you can actually press in on this. That's like your enter button is pressing in. Acceleration is actually a lot better than what I was expecting. It's a lot better than a car in this class that you would expect. It feels like a V6 in acceleration because you have a lot of low end, you know, power and torque or whatever. And this car will, you know, it'll spin the wheels. It'll basically burn out a little bit. And I also thought like once you're at speed, if you hit the gas, it wouldn't have as much power, but it'll still kind of push you back in the seat some. It's definitely faster than a lot of other cars. It's faster than like a base model Civic. It's faster than my Nissan Frontier. You know, it's up there probably speed-wise close to the Focus ST maybe. It's definitely faster than the SVT Focus, and it's faster than the Nissan Sentra Spec V from the factory. But this car, although this is a kind of a heavy car, it does not feel really that heavy when you're driving it. And this car definitely does not feel like it's lacking any power. I think the power on here is perfect for what the car is. Did I mention blind spot monitoring? I love blind spot monitoring. Like, I've driven cars with it, but actually having it on my own car, I've grown to really appreciate it quite a bit. So this is my LT model 2023 Bolt EV. It does have the driver confidence package, but it doesn't have any of the comfort packages. So should you buy one? If you can charge at home and you have a predictable daily commute that's, you know, under 100 miles, this is an awesome car to have. I did try charging this, you know, at a Walmart charger, and I had to charge for like 20 minutes, and I don't feel like I got that much power from it. Like, I maybe gained like 30, 40 miles. This is my wife now. Sucks. Might have been the charger, I don't know. It's just not, after that, I was like, I'm not doing this again. If I gotta go on a road trip, I'm gonna take my truck. I'm not gonna take this thing. I know it may sound like, you know, I have a lot of complaints about this car, but overall, I love this car. And my few issues that I have with it, it's resolvable. I can fix it. In case anybody's wondering what I paid for this car at CarMax, I paid $18,999. And that's not including the $4,000 tax rebate, which I have to file my taxes for. I know people out there are going to say I overpaid, but within 500 miles, I didn't have very many options. Like, I did have a couple options that was maybe like $1,000 up to $2,000 cheaper. But those ones had higher mileage, or they didn't have the driver confident package, so didn't have blind spot monitoring, didn't have all the driver assistance and stuff like that. So for what I had available to me, this was the best deal for a car. For getting low mileage, still under factory bumper to bumper warranty. Thank you for watching. Aloha. Peace out. Catch you in the next one.